Hallo zusammen, wir stehen jetzt hier vor einem der Prunkstücke der Ausstellung und wir haben das Glück gehabt, dass der Helm, der ist gerade erst angekommen. Der war nämlich eigentlich schon ein bisschen zu spät. Und wir haben jetzt hier die Kuratorin aus Serbien vom Museum bei uns. Und wir werden jetzt mal ein bisschen fragen, wieso die Reise hierher war und wie man so ein wertvolles Stück hier nach Trier in unsere unglaublich tolle Ausstellung bekommt, der Untergang des Römischen Reiches. Maybe you can introduce yourself and tell our readers who you are and where you come from.
Thank you. My name is Tijana Stanković Pešterac and I'm the director of the Museum of Vojvodina. It's a big and wonderful museum in Serbia, in Novi Sad. Novi Sad is now the capital, European capital of culture. That is something that we are known for, this year at least. And this is our very famous and the most important objects that we have in our collections.
Now, how did you transport it to Trier? I mean, what were the challenges to bring it here? Because it's a treasure.
Yeah, and when it comes to treasure, it's always a difficulty to transport it out of the country, to get a license for transporting it for the temporary export license. So it took some time to get it, and when we got it finally, then the transport was the challenge itself. And it was traveling since yesterday morning until 3 hours ago.
Maybe you can tell us or describe us what is the most important or special thing about this helmet?
This is a very unique object. It comes from the beginning of the 4th century AD. And we know that it's related somehow to the time when the Constantine, the future Constantine the Great, the emperor, and his a colleague, and Augustus as well, Licinius, they were ruling together, and then they made an Edict of Milan, famous edict that made Christians to be normal religion, and then in the Roman Empire. And we know that because the other helmet that was found with this one has an inscription that bears the name of Licinius. So that's an important story. But this one is the most beautiful and the most preserved helmets of the Berkaso type. Now, the type of the helmet in archaeology is known by this one and by the site where it was found. It was found in today, present-day Serbia, but near the border between Croatia and Serbia, and the village is called Berkaso. So the type is Berkaso, a type helmet. And there are approximately 15 different helmets of this type. So this one has an inscription which says, diesem, wear it in health, the work of Avitus. So the important thing is that we have the name of the owner and we have the name of the man who made it. So when it comes to archaeology, it's a really rare situation. You never have something that you can connect with a certain character in the past. But we don't know anything about him. We know that the inscription is made in Greek, so we know that he wasn't a Roman, he was of barbaric origins. By his name we know that he was probably of Thracian origins, present-day Bulgaria, and he was probably some important person for the Roman emperor, because he made this helmet, he ordered this helmet especially for him.
I think it was not normal to have such a helmet, no? As a soldier. I think it
Definitely
was very
not.
special.
He was very special.
Must have been a very special person.
Yes, very special person. And you see these ornaments that we have on this helmet, they're also unique. The base is made of iron, and then you have a silver thin coating, which was only gilt. So they're not basically made of gold, only small gilt is above. And these ornaments are actually imitating precious and semi-precious stones, and they're made in glass, originally in the Roman times, because of the Romans, when they didn't have the right and the original stones, they used glass to imitate it. It was somehow their trick. So we sometimes on the archaeological excavations we find these small pieces of jewelry, and it's like you have this silver balls, and they are trying to imitate.
Come a bit closer. Come closer. Come closer.
And
kommt mal näher, dann könnt ihr auch was
these
sehen.
smalls are imitating pearls.
Ah, ja.
So we like to say that, you know, the Romans were so uniform, and we like to say that this reflects a barbaric taste. And it's not unusual because in this time, the Roman army was barbarizing itself. There were a lot of barbaric people, barbarians who were in the Roman army and who had big positions, an important one.
Vielleicht kommt ihr noch mal kurz näher, dann könnt ihr vielleicht mal kurz die Schrift sehen, die hier an der Seite ist. Schaut mal hier. Ja, die ist so eingraviert, eingehämmert. Da kann man das sehen, wie speziell dieser Helm ist. Und das ist was ganz Besonderes, was es so eigentlich nicht gibt. You told me that it's really unique, the helmet and the inscription on the helmet. Yes. It's not normal that soldiers from the Romans had such a thing.
You know, we can find sometimes names, and but normally we cannot relate them to some historical characters. So we have to make up things a little bit, spice it up, if I can say it like that. I mean, we can, of course, behind everything there is always a strong archaeological science and a strong exact mind, but we're in a way a romantic souls. You know, when you study archaeology and you do archaeology in your life, then you have to have a lot of imagination, I must say.
Yeah, of course. And I could feel that when the helmet was brought here, just a few minutes ago, you had very strong feelings. I could see that you were like, you know, like that it's your baby. It felt like this. How does it come? I mean,
yeah, it's fragile actually. Yeah. And I've been traveling a lot with it because very important museums in Europe like to exhibit it. Every time when there is an exhibition about the Constantine the Great, everybody wants these helmets to be in their exhibitions. And this one and the other one, which was found together with this one, they were exhibited in Trier before.
Okay.
In 2007.
Wir hatten den Helm schon in Trier in 2007.
Yes, and there was a big exhibition about Constantine the Great.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
And they came here. So this is the second trip of this helmet to Trier.
Also ihr seht, der Helm ist lange und oft auf Reisen, denn es ist so ein wichtiges Fundstück, dass es in ganz vielen Museen, ja, eigentlich weltweit wahrscheinlich ausgestellt wird. I think the helmet, you bring it worldwide, not only to Europe, or?
Mostly in Europe, because when it comes to the Roman Empire, then
it's more Europe, of course.
Yeah, I mean the Roman Empire was very vast and it spread on different continents, but somehow Europeans have the largest amount of money to make exhibitions such as this one. I mean, it costs a lot. You have to have insurance and or state insurance as well, and
okay. Also, jetzt wisst ihr Bescheid, kommt in die Ausstellung und schaut euch dieses wunderschöne Stück an. Hier gibt es noch viele weitere Dinge zu sehen, aber wir wollen ja nicht zu viel verraten. Also kommt vorbei.